It was a rainy Tuesday afternoon when something unforgettable happened in a small roadside diner just outside Nashville, the kind of place where the smell of coffee lingers in the air, and the same folks usually sit at the same booths every morning. But that day, a quiet act of kindness turned an ordinary lunch hour into a story people would tell for years. No one expected that the toughest-looking man in the room, a big, bearded biker in a leather jacket, would be the one to make everyone's eyes fill with tears. Before we get into this powerful story, if you love real stories that warm the heart and remind you of the goodness still left in the world, make sure to subscribe to Whispers of Goodness, hit the like button, and share your thoughts in the comments. Every like helps more people see stories that can brighten their day. Now, let's get to the story. The lunch rush at Miller's Diner had just started to fade. The place had the familiar hum of plates clinking, soft music playing, and waitresses chatting with the last few customers. Behind the counter, Mary, a waitress in her early 52nd, wiped down the coffee machine. She'd worked there for years and knew every face that came through those doors. That's when she noticed a man she hadn't seen before. He was hard to miss. Tall, broad, wearing a black leather jacket covered in patches, his beard streaked with grey. He walked with a heavy stride and sat alone in the corner booth. When he took off his gloves, his hands looked rough, the kind of hands that had seen years of hard work or maybe hard roads. Mary approached with her usual smile. "What can I get you, hun?" He looked up, his voice deep but quiet. "Just coffee, black, and maybe the meatloaf special." As Mary jotted down his order, she couldn't help noticing how tired he looked. There was something in his eyes. Not anger, not coldness, but weariness. The kind you only see in people who've been through too much for too long. A few booths over sat a young mother, maybe in her late 20s. Her name was Lisa. She had a little girl with her, no older than 6. The girl's hair was tied up in 2 messy pigtails, and she was drawing something on a napkin with a crayon. From the look of their clothes, and the way Lisa carefully counted change before ordering, it was clear money was tight. Mary had seen it before. Folks who came in hungry but didn't have much to spend. She always tried to be gentle with them. An extra slice of bread here, a refill on the house there. Small kindnesses that could make a big difference. Lisa ordered the kids' pancake plate and a cup of soup for herself. The little girl smiled wide when the pancakes came, and for a moment they both looked happy, safe, warm and content in the simple comfort of a hot meal. The biker ate quietly in the corner, glancing up from time to time. He didn't say much, just finished his meal and kept his coffee cup close. But everything changed when Lisa stood up to pay. She hesitated at the counter, whispering something to Mary that no one else could hear. Then Mary gave her a small nod and turned to grab a paper bag from the shelf. "Can I take the leftovers from my daughter?" Lisa asked softly. Her voice was gentle but filled with something deeper, the quiet pride of someone who didn't like to ask for help, mixed with the need of a mother doing her best. Mary smiled kindly. "Of course, sweetheart. I'll wrap them up for you." That's when the biker stood up. The sound of his chair scraping against the floor caught everyone's attention. The diner grew quiet. Even the music seemed to fade. He walked over, his boots heavy against the tile floor, and stopped near the counter. Lisa froze, her little girl clutching her hand, looking up at the tall man in leather. No one knew what he was going to say. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a folded $20 bill. Then another, and another. He placed them gently on the counter in front of Mary. "Cover her meal," he said, his voice low but firm, "and give her and the little one whatever they want to take home. Pie, sandwiches, whatever." Lisa's eyes widened. "Oh, no, sir, you don't have to," but the man shook his head. "I know I don't have to, but I want to." The diner was silent. Even the clatter from the kitchen stopped. Mary just stood there for a second, her hand over her heart. Lisa's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice trembling. "You don't know how much this means to us." The biker gave her a small smile, the kind that hides 1,000 unspoken stories. "Yeah," he said softly, "I think I do." He turned to the little girl and bent down slightly. "You be good for your mama, okay? She's doing a great job." The girl nodded shyly. "Thank you, mister." As the biker walked back to his booth, Mary noticed something glisten in his eyes. When he reached for his jacket, a small, worn-out photo slipped from his wallet and landed on the table. He picked it up quickly, but not before Mary caught a glimpse. A young girl about the same age as Lisa's daughter, smiling in a pink dress. Mary didn't say a word, but in that instant, she understood. The biker left a large tip on the table and headed toward the door. The bell above it jingled softly as he stepped out into the drizzle. Lisa stood there for a moment, holding the bag of food close to her chest, her daughter tugging at her sleeve. "Mama," the girl whispered, "that man was nice." Lisa nodded, wiping a tear from her cheek. "Yes, baby, he really was." After the biker rode away, the diner slowly returned to its usual rhythm, but something felt different. The air was softer, lighter. People smiled a little more. A few of the regulars quietly added a few extra dollars to the tip jar. Mary couldn't shake the image of that photo from her mind. Later, when she was cleaning up for the night, she found something tucked under the biker's empty coffee cup, a folded napkin. On it, written in shaky handwriting, were the words, "My daughter passed 5 years ago. She loved pancakes too. Thank you for reminding me there's still goodness in this world." Mary stood there, her eyes filling with tears, holding that napkin like it was something sacred. She placed it gently in her apron pocket, knowing she'd never forget this day. The next morning, when Lisa came back to the diner to thank whoever had paid for her meal, Mary told her the story. Lisa cried quietly as she listened, her hand over her mouth. "I wish I could thank him," she said. Mary smiled softly. "You already have, honey. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep loving your little girl. That's thanks enough." In the weeks that followed, something beautiful began to happen at Miller's Diner. Inspired by that biker's simple act of kindness, customers started paying it forward. One man left a 20 under his plate for the next person who came in hungry. A woman dropped off bags of groceries for families who were struggling. Even the local high school kids started showing up on weekends to help serve free coffee to anyone who needed a warm place to sit. Kindness had spread like wildfire, all because one man decided to care. Mary framed the napkin and hung it behind the counter, right next to the specials of the day board. Every time someone asked about it, she'd tell the story, and every time it brought a tear or a smile, or both. Sometimes the people who look the roughest carry the gentlest hearts. Sometimes those who seem the strongest are the ones who've known the deepest pain. That biker didn't just pay for a meal. He reminded everyone in that little diner that kindness doesn't have to be loud or grand. It can be as simple as caring for a stranger or helping a mother feed her child. And maybe, just maybe, the smallest acts of compassion are the ones that echo the loudest, in the hearts of those who witness them and in the lives they quietly change. So the next time you see someone who looks like they've been through a lot, maybe smile. Hold the door open. Offer a kind word. You never know what battle they're fighting or what memory your kindness might heal. Because kindness, real, honest kindness, doesn't just touch others, it heals us too. And that's what the biker understood. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to Whispers of Goodness, like the video, and share it with someone who could use a reminder that good still exists in this world. Because one small act of kindness can change a day, a life, or maybe even the world.